What's up, people pleasers and non-people pleasers? Welcome to this live hashtag Whimsdom session. I was actually making the post above talking about what the topic's going to be because I usually give you guys like a heads up of what the topic's going to be. And I just decided I'm feeling it, so I'll just go live now. My apologies if you hear nonsense behind me. Our daddy is down in Florida doing his wrestling thing, so all four of the dogs are at their own discretion behind me. But be patient. Oh, being a fur mommy. Anyway, if you're new to this, my name is Audrey Kent, and I am your guide through people-pleasing addiction recovery. And what that means is I help women every single day recover from people-pleasing addiction. I also try to push this movement forward by helping other people understand that people-pleasing addiction is not a personality type. It is not something that we just use to describe ourselves. It's not like an Enneagram or introversion or INFJs, nothing like that. People-pleasing addiction is a behavioral problem. Whether you think addiction is a disorder or a disease, doesn't matter. The only cure is recovery. The only answer is recovery. And I help people find that every day through my 6-module program that I've created for people that like to be kind of self-paced and hands-offy, and also through one-on-one work I do with my exclusive clients. But tonight's topic is going to be awesome because we're going to talk about modesty and how it's rude as fuck, and how you, the non-pleaser, if you are a non-people-pleasing addict watching tonight, how you can spot a people pleaser from a mile away with this new information. And while we're on the topic of like busting stereotypes and how people-pleasing addiction doesn't just present itself as being like a meek little yes man and like never wanting to upset people, like that's like one of the tiny representations of people-pleasing addiction. But tonight we're going to bust the stereotypes that people pleasers aren't ballsy, that people pleasers aren't putting themselves out there, that people pleasers are scared. Also, that people pleasers can't be perfectionists. Because honestly, people pleasers can... When people think of a people pleaser, they think of someone that's mild and like a yes man, and someone that's meek-mannered, and you don't equate that with being like a ballsy perfectionist, right? We equate that with someone that's like a go-getter, that doesn't give a fuck what people think about them. That's the kind of person we think about when we think about a perfectionist. So we're going to bust those stereotypes tonight, and I'm going to show you guys how you can spot a people pleaser if you're worried that you have a loved one that is suffering from this behavioral addiction, and also what you can do about it. Because let's remember, the whole point of this people pleasers autonomous movement is not to create more people pleasers. I don't want you to saddle yourself with the task of helping them into their recovery. That's my job. Don't even worry about it. You are just going to need to learn some tools to help kind of keep you from getting pooped on. In other words, by your people pleaser. It'll also help you not resent them. It'll help keep your relationship really stable while they go find recovery elsewhere. I'm getting tongue-tied tonight. So let's dig into it. If you're wondering whether your loved one is suffering from people-pleasing addiction, ask yourself this. Are they hard to compliment? Are they hard to compliment? This person that you're thinking of, that you think is a people pleaser in your life, are they hard to compliment? Now, non-people pleasing perfectionists will never acknowledge a possible weakness. What up, Kayla? They'll never acknowledge a possible weakness. That's where we can kind of separate the two. A non-people pleasing perfectionist won't acknowledge that weakness. So they'll deflect. If a perfectionist that's not a people pleaser is going to deflect your compliment and be difficult to compliment, then they're going to do it in a way that's kind of like, yeah, well, we'll see. You know, if you're like, oh my God, you're going to ace this test. Yeah, we'll see. That's how a non-people pleaser perfectionist will deflect a compliment. Or well, it's not done yet. So, because they're not relinquishing to the idea that they fucked something up or that they made a mistake or that there's any sign of a weakness there, because they have to protect that to keep barreling forward. But they will be a realist in the sense of, don't count my eggs before they hatch because I don't do that. But if it's a people pleaser, If it is a people pleaser, they will deflect your compliment with a preemptive assessment. And what I mean by that, it's almost like they're trying to explain to you why they don't deserve your praise. And even when they know that, like, even if it's a circumstance where they nailed it, like say it's a performance and they nailed it and they know they did, they're still going to deflect your compliment. And I'm going to show you the different scenarios that can happen in. What up, Matthew? They're going to deflect your compliment because people pleasers, people pleasing addicts live in a 365-day box of are you okay? Not am I okay? Are you okay? That's the place they live in. Not just when they want something, not just when they want to come off as a good friend. It's where they live. That is their safe space. They're only okay when everyone else is okay. So the different scenarios are if they nailed, like say this is a performance. We'll go that route. If they nailed the performance, right? And they know they nailed it. They didn't mess anything up. They didn't miss the words, like whatever it is, they nailed it. Then they're still going to deflect your compliment with some form of self-deprecation. And that's because they're afraid that their greatness, their power, their light, their talent is going to make you feel less than. So even if they know they nailed it, they're still going to deflect your compliment with something, some kind of self-deprecating something. Maybe they'll pick something out of their ass that has nothing to do with the performance. Like, oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. That was great. I know. I don't know. I feel like I looked fat up there. Like it could have something nothing to do with the performance, but it's something that will bring them down a peg so that you don't feel less than. Because a people pleaser never wants to fully live in their potential and their glory if it's going to make anyone around them feel like they're not amazing. So gross. So gross. So here's the other scenario if they did fuck something up. Like maybe they did mess up the words, or maybe they did miss a note, or maybe whatever, they missed their cue. And you try to genuinely compliment them. They made a note to themselves of each technical error the second they happened. So they actually have a list in their mind of all the exact times they fucked up. And they're going to present it to you as a reason why they don't deserve your praise. And it comes from this really weird place because it's not that they don't want your praise. And it's not that, oh, I don't feel like I'm deserving. It comes from this really weird place of they don't want you to think that they're deluded enough to accept your praise. Because if they just go, oh my God, thank you, that leaves them open to you being like, well, I mean, she did fuck up some stuff, but she said thank you as if she was like God's gift, whatever. Even though it's never what someone that's complimenting you is thinking, ever, ever, ever. But that's how a people pleaser's mind tries to change it to where it's not about them. And the real sad part of all this, besides this like crippling behavioral addiction, the real sad part about all of it is that a people pleasing addict will never exist in or reach their full glory in this life because they won't allow it. That's the sad part about all this. And that's why people pleasers will use modesty as this armor to make sure everyone around them is okay. Because God forbid they exist in their own like, I'm a badass self-worth glory, which is what gets us to our truest potential in life. Which is what gets us to that place of ease and passion and happiness and joy and abundance and authenticity and all the other life coaching words you want to use. You have to start with self-worth, and a people pleaser just doesn't live in that space. That it doesn't fit in their little box of is everybody else okay? So even if they reach a big goal because of someone else, like they want to make their mom happy, so they pass the bar exam, they're never going to enjoy that accomplishment because it was born out of them trying to please someone else. So here's what you can do. Here's the not sad part. Here's what you can do if this verifies that the person in your life that you're worried is a people-pleasing addict. Here's what you can do when the people-pleasing addict in your life deflects a compliment. Sorry, the dog was licking herself and it totally distracted me. But here's what you can do when that people-pleasing addict in your life goes, oh, thanks, but, and tries to like throw their modesty armor on you, is that tell them, and you don't have to be a dick to do this. You can say it with a smile on your face and be legit and stand your ground. But tell them it's rude as fuck. Tell them that you don't accept their modesty because it has nothing to do with what you're telling them. Their idea of themselves has nothing to do with your idea of them. You know? And their modesty is rude as fuck because it dilutes your opinion. So they can believe your opinion or not, right? You don't need to defend your opinion. They can believe it or not. But deflecting your opinion with their weak ass self-worth is rude, and you're not here for it. You're here to see what you see and tell them what you see. And if that is you crushed it up there, then that's your opinion. And you're not here for it if they want to tell you that your opinion's wrong, because that's rude as fuck. That's all you have to do. Whatever you do, don't take the bait. Don't take the bait of trying to defend your opinion. It does nothing but elicit the reaction from the people pleaser of, ooh, they want evidence as to why I don't deserve this praise. Okay, and it starts this whole gross conversation of like, no, I know, thanks, that's real sweet of you, but I really messed up that second verse. And then you go, oh, I'm sure no one heard it, it's fine. And then all the people pleaser hears is that, oh, you acknowledge that failure too. So now everything else you say is discredited. And basically, they're going to hear you agree with them that they don't deserve your praise. It's gross. You don't have to get entangled in all that nonsense. All you have to do is be like, don't tell me my opinion's wrong. I'm not fucking here for it. Accept the compliment or walk the fuck away. Like, I still have, she's a very good friend of mine. But there is a friend of mine, Miss Pillin. It's Jess Pillin. And she was around in my good old rock star days. And she was always so about me. And every time I tried to put my people-pleasing modesty bullshit on her, every time she was like, man, you fucking nailed that set, I'd be like, oh, I don't know. Thanks, but like, yeah, I fucked up that. Can you believe I fucked up that second song or whatever it was? She'd be like, bitch, I'm not even hearing it. You can take it or leave it. Shut the fuck up. I think you're amazing. And she just was never there for it. And she was the only person in my life that was never there for it. Because as a non-pleaser herself and someone with an epically beautiful view of the world, she not only was not about it, she just wasn't even going to fall into it. You know, she wasn't even going to take the bait. She wasn't even going to try and convince me why I was wrong and why I needed to accept her love. She just wasn't there for it. And whenever she came at me with that whole, whatever you're trying to do here, I'm not there for that. I'm just telling you you're amazing, and whatever you're trying to do, I'm not here for it. Whenever she would come at me like that, it was the only time in those days that I was like, like it would actually kind of knock me off my track. And I would like have to reevaluate and be like, wow, am I being rude? Like, is what I'm doing actually like rude? Because she seems like done and offended with it. Is modesty not cute? What's going on? And I actually had to question things. And so that's why I can say with full on, not just because I am a recovered people pleaser, but with full on confidence that this is how you need to address a people pleaser who is smearing their modesty on you. Because I know that this is what knocks people pleasers off their track. Don't fall into their bullshit. Don't fall into their bullshit. Don't elicit a reason for them to keep convincing you of their low self-worth. Blah, so gross. So if you're a non-pleaser and you have a people pleaser in your life that you're genuinely worried about, you watch them day in and day out deflect love. You watch them day in and day out exhaust themselves, overreach, over-deliver. You see them begging silently and sadly for acknowledgement and a thank you. And you see them give so much love, but not get that love in return because they just won't allow it. If you're worried about them, point them this direction. I've listed a bunch of free resources for them above. And also, I would love to talk to you because I am putting together my book for release very soon, and I would love to include an entire portion for non-pleasers and how to handle the people pleaser in your life. And that research is going to come from talking to you. Now, if you're a people pleaser watching this and you feel totally understood and seen for the first time, raise your hand. Or if you don't want to like out yourself, message me and raise your hand. But I love you guys so much, and I'm always open for messages. I love to talk to you guys about the pleasers in your life and people pleasers alike. Don't be afraid. There's no such thing as a terrible conversation with me. I promise you. Mwah. Go be safe and have an amazing weekend. Bye. The puppies say bye. They don't even know we're here. All right. Bye.